Hey there, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, welcoming you guys to Late Night Frights once again. It is a battle week this week, and I chose to battle Saw 1 against Saw 2. Now, I think everybody knows the story of the Saw franchise. You know, killer named Jigsaw, basically teaching his victims the meaning of life through sick, twisted, survival games, basically. He basically, in every video or tape, it's, I want to play a game. And basically, round one, I'm going to go with the story. With Saw, it's basically a psychological thriller with Carrie Elways and another guy chained in a room for most of the movie, and they're trying to figure out, how to get out of there, what they're going to do, how they're going to survive. And you've got an outstanding cast: Carrie Elways, Danny Glover, Monica Potter, Dinah Meyer in a small role, Ken Leong I think he's from Community, and he's in here. That's pretty much the main cast, except for Leigh Whannell, who is one of the writers of the movie, which he did a good job acting too. So got a solid cast with Saw 1. With Saw 2, you've got Donnie Wahlberg, Dinah Meyer once again, Beverly Mitchell, Shawnee Smith. I should mention she's in both of these as Amanda. Tobin Bell does a great job as Jigsaw. Manuelle Vaugier, who I haven't seen in very much, but she's an okay actress. But I think overall, for casting, it's going to go to the first Saw. Round 2, I am going to have to go with, well, basically, let's see. Yeah, I'll do the traps. You didn't have too many traps in the first Saw. There was, basically had the two who were chained in the room, and you had the one who was in like a barbed wire cage. You had to crawl out, and you had the guy who was doused in like this flammable jelly or whatnot. And then, of course, the most famous one is the head trap, Amanda's trap, which is like the signature. That is pretty much the signature. But the traps are decent in Saw 1, but with Saw 2, the traps were doubled up, amped up. I mean, right in the opening, basically, you've got a revamp of the head trap, which is now a death mask, and it's got spikes in it. And it comes up and slams the guy in the face. And you've got the razor box, there's the needle pit, one guy in the first room that all the people playing the game are in, he puts the key in the door even though he says not to, and gets shot right through the eye, so that was cool. There's the incinerator trap. There's just all kinds of really solid traps in this one, so for traps I gotta go with Saw 2. Round 3 is gonna go to the story. With Saw 1, like I said, it's basically the two guys trapped in a room. They're chained by their feet, and, they have to figure out how to get out of there. Carrie Elways, he's basically trying to save his family, and Leigh Whannell's character is a photographer, and he's been, like, a private investigator taking pictures of Carrie Elways' character, who's been cheating on his wife, and, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, with the other part of it, you've got Danny Glover and Ken Leong on the trail of Jigsaw, who's the killer, and that's basically it. You're going back and forth between these two intersecting stories, and it's really kind of cool to see. With Saw 2, it's also kind of an intersecting story because you've got Donnie Wahlberg interviewing Jigsaw, trying to find out where he's got this next group of people, and in the meantime, his son is involved in Jigsaw's plot. He's in with all the other people. And what these people have in common is that they were all arrested by Donnie Wahlberg. He planted evidence to get each one of them. So that's kind of where that ties in. So it kind of goes back and forth once again. So it's a cool story. So it's going to be a tie for round 3. Round 4, I'm going to go with overall direction. With Saw 1, you got James Wan directing. It was his first movie. Him and Leigh Whannell wrote this. I think he did a solid job directing. He's gone on to do some fantastic movies. Dead Silence. I haven't seen The Conjuring yet. He just finished Fast and Furious 7. Dead Silence was good. He's done a lot of good movies since he did this. Death Sentence is really good. That was a really good action thriller. And then Saw 2 was done by Darren Lynn Bousman, who co-wrote this with Leigh Whannell, and he did a solid job. He also went on to direct Saw 3, but I don't know what else he's directed. I would have to look on IMDb, and since I don't film these on my laptop, I can't really go and look. But I think for overall direction, it's going to go to Saw 1 because of James Wan. And round 5 is going to be just overall enjoyment. With Saw 1, for me, it's a straight-up psychological thriller. You know, it gets me thinking, you know, what would I do to get out of there? What would I do to survive? Or if I was Danny Glover's character, how would I go about capturing Jigsaw if I could? And with Saw 2, it's kind of the same thing. You know, you're either put in Donnie Wahlberg's shoes trying to figure out, you know, how to get your son back and how to capture Jigsaw, or you're in the shoes of the people playing the game, you know, like Amanda and all the others, trying to figure out how to get out of there and survive. You know, what would you do with this poison gas that's running through you, which I forgot to mention. There's a poison gas that's in this house they're in, and it's running through all of them. They're all breathing it in, and there's antidotes hidden all over, so they each have to find an antidote. But, you know, it has me thinking, you know, what would I do to get that antidote? What would I do to get out of there and survive? And so, overall enjoyment, I have to give to Saw 2 because Saw 2 is my favorite in the series. But with a total of 3-2, the overall winner is Saw 1. And like I said, I love the Saw series. It's one of those series that I get some enjoyment out of. Hostel, all them, don't like them. But once again, this is Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starburst, keep it forever horror, guys, and in the immortal words of my faithful partner Chris, or Buffy Xenaman, he always says, eat some chicken. I'll catch you guys next week on Late Night Frights.